So we have, not only were lessons learned, but we've acted upon them. And you will see, I don't know if you have them, but there's some of the jigs, the crossing assembly jigs. It was difficult to solder using standard 188 solder. The advice would be use 145, but in addition to that, Allan acted swiftly on it and has milled out the backs of some of the jigs and also the fronts of the jigs where the crossing noses are. So you can actually put a fillet of solder in. Yeah, that's the Mark 1.
Have I got a new one or not?
That's an old one.
Ooh.
Nobody's got new ones yet.
Ah.
This is the only batch that's been made to date.
So we have to buy them again?
No.
No,
No.
they'll be sent back on a manufacturer's warranty. Can you see where the two transverse lines are here?
Yeah.
That clears out the nose, the crossing nose. So if you want to put a bigger fillet of solder in, when you drop it into the jig, it will sit in. Whereas the solder before was something to point with.
It also clears the wing rails, the flare of the check rails and the nose. It also clears that as well. So if you want the pre-bend nose,
Right.
you can it now clears in there. And what I'm proposing to do, there'll be various emails and magazine notes and stuff. Return them to me. I'll get them machined round and get them turned around for you.
Here is where, when you drop the crossing V in, if there's an inordinate amount of solder in the V, it will still fit in the jig, and you can then complete the assembly without having to faff about with the jig or try and remove the solder. Also, if you look at the old style, let's just try and tilt it up. Yes, can you see those transverse marks
Yeah.
going, if this was a compass, going north to south? There,
Yeah.
there and
Yeah.
there. They were merely guides as to where you put the bits of etch. They were guides. If you followed that guide, you probably would reach a situation where the crossing V could bend and become unstable. Ideally you should have 4, and they really need to be fairly close together, because if you do otherwise then the structure is less of a structure, and it needs to be fairly stable, because that's all that's going to hold it together.
On later jigs, I've eliminated those because it's actually more confusing than it was as an aid. So
Seems like
if
a
you
good
just
idea.
mark it with a felt tip pen against your template, you know where you're going to put them. Job's done.
The other thing that was noticeable, strike those aside, there are 2 soldering iron bits. There are 2 extremes there. You're wasting your time trying to solder with a 25 watt iron, doing this kind of work with that one. The 25 watt iron is adequate, but you need to make sure that the heat gets onto the job. And while that is over the top, something in between the two would be ideal.